That's what happens when you have the conviction that I have, and you are so positive that it's gonna go in that direction, and it usually does end up going in that direction. But my thing has been timing. Timing has not been aligned for me in the sense of taking the trades at the correct time for price to just boom. That is something that I have to work on. All right, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If this is the first time that you're tuning in, my name is Lewis. I am just documenting my trading journey. I am simply here just to talk about the trades that I took this week. And if you're new to this YouTube channel, please make sure to leave a like and a comment. Please let me know down in the comments how your week went and how your trading journey is going so far. It was a pretty short trading week since Monday was a bank holiday. I didn't trade on Monday, but apart from that, every trade that I took this week is live on my Instagram with live executions, as I am trying to pass a 50K funded account, and that is something that I want to talk about. There's a lot of new information that I obviously have learned that I want to talk about as well, but I don't want to leave it all towards the end. All that I ask is that you please leave a like, comment, follow me on all social medias. Thank you so much for the support that I've been getting on every platform. The Instagram is going tremendously, the YouTube is going tremendously, TikTok is looking good as well. So thank you so much for everything. I am just trying to become the best trader that I possibly can be. Apart from that, let's get straight into the sponsor of this video and the Discord, and we'll talk about what ended up happening this week. All right, now we are at the sponsor of this video, which is Tektronix.com. If you're looking for the best quality PC with the best parts in the market, make sure you check out Tektronix.com. And they are updating everything, as you can see, updating the entire Nova Strike collection, free shipping. Make sure you take advantage of that, as well as taking advantage of LV Flip to get 10% off on your purchase. If you scroll all the way down, you get added into their emails and never miss any of their exclusive offers or anything like that. If you go into their collections, you'll see everything that you need to see. For example, go into the trading setups and you'll see all the trading setups and what I think is the best bang for your buck right here, which is the futures LV Flip. Now, if you go into their payment options, you can actually pay an installment down here with Zip. So if you want to be on a payment plan with their setups, make sure you go and take advantage of that. It's really dope that they were able to get that. Like I said, they have free shipping and a 1-year warranty on everything with a lot of variety on their setups. I actually have ordered a new case and some new RAM for my PC, and it will be installed by Tektronix.com, and you will see that on my Instagram as soon as it comes in. So please go take advantage of that. And that is everything I have to say for Tektronix. Now right here we are in my trading Discord. If you are looking for a Discord to learn how to trade and looking just for a community of like-minded individuals, please join my trading Discord. All that I ask is that you are active in the Discord, and as you can see, we have been fairly active, especially with trade ideas and stuff like that. Me myself, I post all my trade ideas on here, and as you can see, there's a lot going on. If you're trying to get into my premium Discord, all you got to do is hit the join premium down here, and you'll get access to all of this. You'll see how much it costs to get into the premium Discord and all that. You also have my one-on-one services, which are one-on-one calls, and that is also in the premium Discord. As you can see, we have been going crazy. My best student has been going pretty crazy this week. He's very close to passing a funded account, and he is in my one-on-one calls. So go ahead and check out the one-on-one calls to see what information I'm teaching him. I think that's the best way that you could really learn on how I view the markets. And as you can see as well, you'll see why I'm taking trades like this now, which is crazy work. But either way, apart from that, just stay active in the chat. Link is down in the description. Like I said, now we have 85 members, so let's just try to keep it growing and get to 100 members. Now that I've said all that, let's get into the real meat and potatoes of the video. Let's hop straight into the week and what ended up happening this week. All right, so this is what you can see right here as what ended up happening this week. You can see that we had a Tuesday high of week all the way down to a Friday low. Honestly, was not expecting the meltdown that we had today on Friday, but once we break it down, it will make a lot of sense. And like I say in all my videos, these videos are good for free learning if you're new to trading. Obviously, you won't understand a lot of the terms that I use, but over time you will catch on to it and it will become pretty easy for you. At the same time, I use it as a journal and a back testing session with you guys. So let's get straight into it. I don't want to talk too much. Let's hop into the first day. So let's hop into Tuesday right away, because I didn't trade on Monday since it was a bank holiday. But Tuesday we ended up melting down, and it made a lot of sense as to why we would melt down like we did on Tuesday, and I got cooked. The reason for me getting cooked on Tuesday was because I was bullish, and I still am bullish on the higher time frame. But just because you have a long-term draw on liquidity does not mean that you're gonna end up getting that or heading up there straight away. There could be a lot of jargon and a lot of movement lower. I don't think this is a a real market structure shift. Now we just have to see what ends up happening next week, but I still think that this all-time high gets smoked. Besides the point, let's get into what happened on Tuesday. So coming into Tuesday, I was taking longs below here, and as you can see, it just came up and took me out. So I'm not gonna go over the trades that I took, because if you want to see the trade I took on Tuesday, you'll see it with my live execution on my Instagram. Please go check out the Instagram. But let's talk about what I could have done on this day. Now let's talk about what happened. SMT on the daily. Now let's check out ES. All right, as you can see right here, very clear SMT on Tuesday, taking out this high on ES and not taking out that high on NQ. So that's the first thing that I should have been paying attention to, instead of marrying my bias. Like, I need to stop marrying my bias and making sure that even though I am bullish at a certain point, the market could go in the opposite direction for temporary movements. I was going to take a short from here. I just ended up hesitating, and the market just moved too quickly, giving no real retracement options. As you can see, especially on the lower time frames, there was really no real retracement right here. No real retracement opportunities on Tuesday. It was just a meltdown, if we're being 100% honest. So I kind of missed out on the move by hesitating. My student ended up catching this move, which is amazing, and I'm happy he did. So I need to work on why I'm not taking these type of executions, and that's besides the point. But let's see what ended up happening. So we have a turtle soup up here. As you can see, we have a turtle soup, which is a sweep of liquidity with an SMT. So that is pretty much the entry in itself. If you drop down to the 5 minute, I was literally about to take the entry, but at market open, I think the reason why I hesitated was because it was at the pre-market, but sometimes the trades end up setting up like that. So then I just watched it until the open, and as you can see at 9:25, it just completely dumped, and by the time the market had opened, it gave no real retracement. So I had missed out on the trade, and then I was taking longs. But really, the trade that I would have been comfortable with was anything inside of that, anything up here, right? So any short from here, having obviously my stop above the protected high, because this was an SMT, and targeting the sell side liquidity from Monday, which was this low. That is the trade that I would have taken. That is the trade that I was going to take. That is the trade that my student ended up taking. I just hesitated, and it boomed. 11R. It is a crazy trade. It would have been an amazing start to the week, especially if I would have had upsides to trading E-mini instead of micro. And I just have to live with it, honestly. I just have to live with it, and I'll speak about the E-mini and micro thing once we get to Thursday. Yeah, I took an L on this day, and I can't do anything about it. But as you can see later on in the day, those longs that I was looking for ended up showing up. You can see we had an SMT then at the lows. So ES ended up coming into the daily fair value gap and taking Friday's low, while NQ never did. So that was the mark for the longs, and those were the longs that I was looking for. I don't think I took the longs that I sent in the Discord until Wednesday, but either way, that goes to show you just have to be patient if you do have a certain bias. All right, if I'm still bullish, wait for this SMT and then just take it off of that. So coming into the day on Wednesday, I get caught up in here. Let's get into Wednesday now. I got cooked, if I'm being 100% honest. Why? I was taking longs. One, I took a long in the pre-market that made no sense. I took a long in here, if I'm not mistaken, right? And I did get in, and it went up, but then it came down all the way and took me out, right? So then I'm okay, let me just wait for the market to do something. I think I took another long in here after we took out this low, and it got cooked. What should I have done? Been patient on this day. Okay, I have a long bias. Why am I trading the short, right? This is a buy model in itself, but at the same time, this is the manipulation to the distribution. I should have just been waiting for the distribution, and I did take this long, but after I have taken my trades on my account and have lost, so I believe I took 3 trades on this day and broke my rules. So it is on me for, you know, taking large amount of trades. But that's what happens when you have the conviction that I have, and you are so positive that it's gonna go in that direction, and it usually does end up going in that direction. But my thing has been timing has not been aligned for me, in the sense of taking the trades at the correct time for price to just boom. That is something that I have to work on. I'm gonna be working on it this weekend, just on, you know, waiting for the right time for things to happen. But let's take a look at what should have been taken on this day. As you can see, we had a move down after the open. line, right? I know this is a protected low because this is a daily SMT. Anything that happens inside of here, especially once we get into this rejection block on the 15-minute, should have been a clear entry for me. I should have been waiting for the manipulation to then get the move up, and I took this trade. As you can see with the screenshot that I sent, this is that same trade. I said I was gonna take profits up here. That's the reason why I said TP hit. Since it's demo, I'm gonna just let it run to higher time frame target. I was expecting it to end up running all the way up to this high, as this would be the lower week with a daily SMT, but as you can see, I was correct on that day. I would have definitely took profits there if this was a real account, and then it just came back down lower, but that is besides the point. We have a rejection block entry. I entered on the 5-minute, if I'm not mistaken. So I noticed we had hit the rejection block, and if I'm not mistaken, there was an SMT on ES. There was no SMT on ES, so this is the idea coming into taking the trade. I see us come lower into the rejection block. We are already below OTE of this certain price range, so as you can see from here up, we have already gotten below OTE. So I'm like, okay, why are we going lower? Rejection block on the 15-minute. Then we end up forming bullish structure. So if we go on the 1-minute, as you can see, we have a breaker, low, high, lower, low, higher, high. We obviously come in deeper into it and end up respecting this inverse gap, and that is where I took my entry. As you can see right here, let me rephrase that. This is where I took my entry on the demo account. Once we had blown by this breaker, obviously we came back deeper inside, but my stop was at the protected low, because if I was correct, we were not going to go lower than this low because we have a daily SMT, and obviously I was correct in that instant, and price just took off. So that is the trade that I should have waited for on this day, because I was bullish and not bearish. Either way, I took longs just way too early. Another bad thing that happened on that day, basically. So now let's move on to Thursday, and actually for Thursday I have to switch to the regular NQ, so E-mini, to show you what ended up happening. Now let's talk about what ended up happening on Thursday. As you can see down here, this is the trade that I ended up taking on Thursday, and what I have to say is that last week, how I went undefeated, I would have passed my funded account and many other accounts on last week just based off the trades that I took. If I was trading regular NASDAQ E-mini futures contracts instead of trading the micro contracts, I just noticed that I'm taking way too long trading these micros on the funded account evaluation process. I'm taking way too long just to pass the account, in the sense of I'm taking very good trades that if I were to have sized up at, I would have been past the account. So I said enough of wasting time. It's time to get with the big boys and take good trades. Now let's talk about what my plan is to pass this funded account and many others now that I have the correct information, and then we'll talk about the trade. So like I said, my plan is with Top Step, you have to take 3 trades of $1,000 basically, because the price target for the 50K funded account is 3,000. So if you break that down, you can't have one trade that's more than 50% of the price target. So if you take 3 trades of $1,000 and you do that consecutively, you'll pass the account the fastest in 3 days. Obviously, if you have, like, for example, Apex, you are able to pass the account in 1 day. So I am contemplating on switching to Apex, but at the same time, I can do it here, and I've proven to myself that it's possible just by the fact that you don't have to take a very big trade to be able to pass the account. Obviously, it's only a few points, but let's talk about it. So I had switched over. I'm like, okay, it's time for me to hop into the E-mini and take these trades with higher risk and just smaller sizes. Obviously, most of my trades are medium to bigger ranges in terms of like 50 to 80, 100 points, and not just a couple points. So I imagine if I take the trades that I take with the micros, with the minis, it will benefit me a lot more, especially on the funded accounts. But let's talk about what ended up happening on Thursday. Now, Thursday, I was not expecting a Thursday reversal at first, right? So I ended up taking a short, then I took a long. No, I took a long first on Thursday, and then I took a short. Now, where did I take the long? Right here. As soon as we swept these lows, boom, enter long, then went up. I was up about $600, and then I noticed ES starting to break lower, and I was like, okay, this is looking fishy, so I got out at break even. Why did I not take the trade that I was supposed to take? I had married my bias, right? I was long bias. So as you could see on Thursday, we ended up coming up and turtle swooping right here, which is very simple. Turtle swooping. I would have seen this if I hadn't married my bias, for example, and saw that we could have a Thursday reversal. So So once I did notice that we were gonna head lower, I'm thinking, let me wait for some type of retracement. No retracement at all. And then right as we took out Friday's low, I noticed price started to come higher, and I entered this trade right here, which was just a couple points with a micro contract, or with a mini contract. So let's take a look. All right, so we're very bearish, extremely bearish, and I noticed we come into this fair value gap and start rejecting. I take the short right there. My original stop was above this fair value gap, but then I started moving a lower once we started moving. This was like a 4-minute trade, and I made $1,000. Look at the amount of points, if we're being honest, right? 46 points to make like 900 and some change dollars. We'll go in here, 46 points to make with one contract, $930. Now a trade like this with micros, I would have not even made anything close to that. Like I said, I wanted to get out with $1,000, and I honestly was trying to target this down here, but I got out here just because I had made the target of the day, because I had a break even that made me a couple dollars. So I made $1,000 in that day, got back everything I had lost Monday and Tuesday, and then some. So I'm like, okay, I just have to play it right. Small trades don't need a lot of things, not a lot of moving parts. Okay, fair value gap entry, and then a couple points, boom, I'm good. That is the trade from Thursday. Now going up on size means that you have to be more accurate, and your timing has to be correct, and that's what ended up messing me up today, Friday. So let's talk about Friday really quickly, because Friday I was not expecting a move down. I was expecting, since we had already cleared the table, and I took this long here on paper as well, but that's besides the point. I will show you guys exactly what I'm talking about right here. I took this long last night, and I was correct. I had my stop a little bit lower after this, after I sent it, because I was like, watch them come down and soup. So after I sent this, I moved my stop a little bit lower, like below this point right here, and I'll show you exactly. But I should have just took this on my actual funded account. All right, so we go on the 4-hour, and this fair value gap right here, we go back to the 15-minute, and I notice we come into it, right? I had my stop below here. Notice you come into, I take my entry there, stop below here, and I was targeting this high, so I ended up hitting. And after that, I'm like, okay, price is probably most likely bullish. Let me just wait to see what happens, right? So let's move on to the actual trade on Friday today. I come in and I see us, you know, take out this high, but there's an SMT. We didn't take out this high on ES, and for some reason I'm not taking my SMTs on the daily as serious as I should, because I have a higher time frame bias, and that goes with marrying the bias. But as you can see, if you just take a look on ES, this is ES never got close to taking out Thursday's high. Now I'll go back to NQ, and as you can see, we took out Thursday's high on NQ. So already I should be like, okay, we have an SMT, let me see what ends up happening. Then we go on the 1 hour, and I wanted to see a bounce from this fair value gap right here, but I start to see that we start dumping and start disrespecting this 1 hour gap. So I'm like, okay, we start dumping and disrespecting this 1 hour gap, that means we are bearish. Obviously have the SMT, we're disrespecting bullish order flow. If you go on the 15-minute, you'll see that we are now disrespecting this fair value gap, and we're coming back inside this range right here. And I'm like, okay, let me watch it and see what ends up happening. I'm thinking, I'm looking for a retracement to go short, and this was the trade that I wanted to take. This is the trade that I set up to take, but I don't even know how to phrase it without making myself sound crazy. It's just, I started doing things that I did not want to do. First, I take a short premature, right? So I wanted to enter in this fair value gap. This is the fair value gap I wanted to take an entry from, right? So I see we come lower, start to move higher. I'm like, okay, once we get into this fair value gap, I'll test it out and see what we end up doing. We get close to it and then start to reject. I enter due to FOMO. I did not want to miss out on the move. Instead of waiting for them to come back into where I actually wanted to take my entry from, I enter there. They start moving higher immediately. I'm in minis now, so by this point I'm already down 400 and some change dollars. Instead of just having my stop up here waiting for price to either respect it, I hop into the shorts prematurely, end up taking too much, start freaking out. I hit exit trade, I exit the trade, and then for some reason I enter long. I don't know why I enter long. I think just marrying that higher time frame bias forced me into taking a long, which is just incorrect. You're seeing the order flow be bearish, especially on a Friday like today. We could have a DJI Friday trade. I wasn't expecting it because we had dumped yesterday, but like I said, all I had to do was wait one more minute, 2 more minutes, and then taking the short, and I would have cashed out, because honestly with one contract on this day, 1300, I would have been up. Pretty simple. But like I said, look at the stop as well. That's very respectable. respectable. Either way, that is what ended up happening today, and I ended up hitting the daily drawdown just because I was too impulsive and had the FOMO. Either way, just should have waited, and that's basically it. And I had the right idea, and as you can see, that has been the pattern this week, was having the right idea, just getting in at the wrong time or not having time being aligned. Either way, this was a crazy dump. This is ridiculous. I don't think anybody was really expecting this dump today, but it's okay. Would have been in and out of the market, not cared, would have made my profit, and then I would have been up on 2 days, which is just 52k on the funded account, which I would have just needed Monday to have a good day, and that would have been the account pass. But either way, it happened for a reason. I'm okay with it. I know that I can make it back in 1 day just with a couple points on minis, but I just have to work on my actual entries because I have very good, how do I say, analysis. It's just my operation that is a little shaky, but that's besides the point. That is everything that I wanted to say in this video. If you're watching for the first time, I thank you. Please follow me on Instagram and TikTok. Thank you so much for the support that we've been getting on every platform, honestly. Go check out Techtronix.com and use my discount code LVFLIP for 10% off. Join my free Discord down in the description, and you can find it in my Instagram as well. Please check out my Instagram because I post my live executions on there every day. And yeah, you guys know the plan now, and there's no point of just wasting a bunch of time on a funded account phase. You might as well just pass it quickly and then hop into, you know, printing bread right after that. But that's besides the point. If you enjoyed this video, like I said, please leave a like. Thank you, and I will catch you in the next video. Peace out.